It's great to be back. It's wonderful to be back on campus. I was here briefly last year, but it's been a long time since I've been in an Ideas Fest like this. So it's great to be back. Um, the question that we're kind of looking at this week for us and taking advantage of Aspen Ideas to kind of be listening carefully on is around the questions of corporations and democracy. You know, everybody's talking stakeholder this and stakeholder that. I don't really love the language of stakeholders because I don't think it's much of a management principle. And I'm concerned with businesses' ability to set priorities and execute against them, to be sure that they've aligned, you know, intentions and actions. And that question comes up in some very interesting and complicated ways when we're talking about the health of democracy itself. It raises all of these questions right now about CEO's voice. When does a CEO, last week Roe v. Wade was overturned. Does the CEO speak out on that or just pay attention to whether or not their own employee benefits are appropriate to, new constraints on health? So that's a big, complicated question. When does the CEO speak out? The corporation and how they act in Washington. Money in politics. It's got a lot of problems associated with that. Is it transparent? Is it very clear where the money's going, what the source of it is? But also, are there times when it's better just to pull out? And there are a lot of questions about who corporations have been supporting that may be working against democracy. And so that's a live question. A third one really gets us into kind of the health of our democracy in terms of how many people have been thrown under the bus in an economy that hasn't really given them much of a foothold for many decades now. And if you don't feel you've got a way to proceed and to, find a livelihood that works for you and your family, do you really believe that the system's working for you? And why do you have faith in democracy? These inequality and the health of democracy are closely intertwined. And I think that's a question for companies to interrogate more. And so we're trying to get a sense of how could we create something that would help companies actually think this through.